RFK Jr. expected to be confirmed by a full Senate as early as this morning as the health secretary, despite several Republicans showing some skepticism about his views on vaccines. Kennedy is expected to win this confirmation. And we want to go live to Scripps News national correspondent Joe St. George, who is in Washington, D.C. And Joe, what areas might he be interested in targeting first?
Well, you know, I think it's easy to sleep on this post, right? I think a lot of times you think Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State, but I have a number for you, $2 trillion. I mean, that's the portfolio that technically the Secretary of Health and Human Services oversees. You're talking about Medicare, you're talking about Medicaid, you're talking about potentially massive regulation changes when it comes to things like vaccines. What does the Department of Health and Human Services do with weight loss drugs going forward? There's been a push by many physicians to get more accessible coverage, more affordability. What does that look like? Some in President Trump's political orbit have called for work requirements for Medicaid for years, for instance. This would technically fall under the orbit of RFK. I think we've reached the point where it's not a question of if RFK is going to be confirmed, but when. I wouldn't be surprised that by the lunch hour in Colorado that it's Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., another member of the Kennedy dynasty with a high-profile role, although controversial to say the least. Members of his own family wrote letters to senators asking them not to confirm their fellow family member. RFK criticized in the past for anti-vax comments, but he did clarify in confirmation hearings that he does not consider himself anti-vax, that he considers himself pro-science. He's someone who's pushed heavily for more research and more science involving vaccines before they get approved. What does that process look like if and when he is officially head of the Department of Health and Human Services? So it looks like we're on the precipice of another big win for President Trump when it comes to getting controversial picks confirmed. Again, I expect RFK to be officially the secretary sometime later today, guys.